Hello members, my name is Stephanie Lopez. I'm the APOA president. With me today I have Paul Broom, who is our chief negotiator for the association. He has been with us for a little over the past 5 years since the onset of negotiating this contract. There are several issues of concern that have been raised to us through the membership, and we wanted to get the word out to as many members as possible to answer any and all questions that you have. And please feel free. I want you to know that we are pushing for the ratification of this contract and would like you to know that if you have any questions, you can contact the office at 242-3240 and talk to Sarah, or you can contact myself at 366-7293 or your Vice President Sean Willoughby at 366-7684. Paul's going to be here to discuss some of the issues, the pros and the cons of the contract, and I would like you all to know that the biggest questions of concerns are what's being given up. 4.5 hours of your vacation time is what's going to be sacrificed. This will be a one-time occurrence on a yearly event, and this is a one-year contract. Biggest issues of it being the one-year contract and vacation time being given up for association time is not necessarily a bad thing, and Paul can go into details about this and why.
I will do that. Thank you and good morning, everyone. On the hours being contributed, for the first time, if this contract is ratified, the union leadership that is actually being hired and being elected by you will actually be paid by you through vacation time. And for the first time, the full accountability of these officers will actually fall to the membership rather than the city of Albuquerque. There will not be that compromise situation that we've had for so many years where everybody who is working here is dependent not on the membership as much as they are dependent on the city of Albuquerque and their benevolence toward them. So for the first time, this union will be autonomous in terms of its elected leadership, and I think that's going to be a very positive thing, especially as we run into the Department of Justice consent decree that's going to be coming up rather soon. We're going to be needing people who are independent and actually accountable to the membership and not to the city of Albuquerque.
I would like the membership to know that we are planning on posting this effective today to start the 10-day count. It will be posted for 10 days for each of the association members to be able to have the opportunity to view. It will be posted online, and every substation should have one of these posted at. The vote will take effect on July 7th. We will have a representative posted at each and every one of the substations, at Metro Court, at the association office, and we will have 2 rovers as well to cover up some of the smaller entities we have in the department, like SID, the FAC. So please, by all means, if there's a spot that you're working that might, the TAC range that you're in a position to where you might not have the ability to make it to a substation or something, please feel free to contact the office and let us know so we can make sure that we have a rover at your location with your squad at any given time during the day that would be most beneficial to get you guys all to have the ability to vote. This is a very, very important contract. A lot of sacrifices were made, and we worked very, very hard to get you the 5% restoration. I know a lot of people are upset because they don't see it as a raise. I realize it is a restoration, but it is a huge increase, and it almost makes us whole from what has been taken. And Paul can also go into details about that.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. Yes, it's a 5.03% increase in dollars for us, and that includes the PTOs who are in our bargaining unit right now. The PTOs, as you probably recall, will actually go into their own bargaining unit upon ratification of this contract. So in the future, we will only be negotiating for APD and aviation officers, actually in the bargaining unit itself. And in terms of the restoration money, it's the way we have actually calculated it. Actually, the cuts were actually like 2.4%, approximately 3.7% with the third year that was not given, and about 0.8% for the health insurance. So that really leaves us still with about 2% that we need for full restoration. But as Stephanie mentioned, this is a major step forward in terms of getting 5% restoration, 5.03% restoration. That is a big, big step forward. So we're pleased with that point. Do you want me to go into anything further on the ratification or anything, or do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I'm having to go in further. Paul, I just want to clarify on this though, even though Paul is saying we're going to be in a separate bargaining unit from them, we would still be negotiating for the collective bargaining of the PTO officers as well, but it would be separate and aside from aviation and APD. There will be one for the PTOs, which would make them civilians, and there would be a separate one for sworn APD and aviation. So collectively, we would still be negotiating for them. It would just be in a separate bargaining unit. And go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate what Stephanie said in terms of recommending ratification. We believe, quite frankly and quite honestly, after looking at this very, very carefully from all angles, that this is the best that we're going to be able to bring back at this point. It's the largest raise for any city employees in any of the bargaining units actually within the city, as well it should be, because we faced a whole lot of cuts back a few years back. So that is important. What happens if we don't ratify? That's a serious problem. If we don't ratify, the budget process is complete. 5% is there. The chances of actually getting more simply are not seen by anybody on our negotiating team. And every one of us were involved in the lobbying of every single city councilor up there, as well as the mayor's office, and actually getting ourselves to the point of that 5%. With the DOJ consent coming down, there's going to be more money that's going to have to be allocated by the city for part of that consent agreement, and we have no idea how much that is actually going to be. The other aspect of this that is very, very troubling is that if in fact we don't ratify, very possibly the 5.03% could be imposed on us, and then our contract terminated, because the litigation that has gone on regarding Evergreen, continuation of the contract, have not been good. And it's very possible that they would actually be brave enough, if you will, to actually terminate our contract and force us into further litigation that we don't want. And the last point I want to make is that we still have language in the contract firmly stating that this will have no negative impact whatsoever on our litigation that is going on currently for the back pay. None whatsoever. Thanks, Steph.
Okay. Again, like I said to each and every one of you, please take the time. The contract will be posted at each and every one of the substations, and it will be online also. Please take the time to read through it and see if there's any issues or concerns that you have. Know that this is an important issue and it impacts us all. And if you have any questions, feel free to call the office, Sean and myself. Thank you.
Thank you.